everyone, welcome back to Pepcoding. So the question which we will do today is called maximum average subarray. Okay, so I'll just explain the question to you and then we will talk about the solution. I'll just bring the input. Okay, now we have three things. The first thing which has been given to us is a value n. Okay, these are the number of elements which we will have. Then an array with n elements. Okay, and then a value k. I'll tell you what is the significance of k. First, let us discuss with the array. So I'll just make this array over here. Minus 10, 5, minus 6, 8, minus 7, 2, minus 4, 8, minus 6, and 7. I'll just create the array. Second. Then we will write our indexes. Okay. Now what k says is, k is the number of or the length of a subarray which you can take in this array. Basically, since here we have k as 3, so at a time you can take a subarray of size 3 from this array. Okay. So we will have multiple ranges which will be, first is 0 to 2. Then next one will be 1 to 3. After that 2 to 4. 3 to 5. 4 to 6. 5 to 7. 6 to 8. And 7 to 9. What you have to do is you have to calculate the average of all of these subarrays and you have to print the maximum average out of all of them. So basically over here, first let us discuss what average is. So average is sum of elements divided by number of elements. Over here we have number of elements fixed because we have been given k, which is the number of elements I can take in a subarray at a time. So over here it is 3. So we have one thing fixed, that the average will be sum divided by 3 in this case, or in general terms sum divided by k. Okay, so let us calculate the sum or average for all of these. For the first range, minus 10 minus 6 plus 5 minus 11 divided by 3 minus 3.66. Next range, 5 plus 8, 13 minus 6, 7 divided by 3 is 2.33. Next range, minus 6 minus 7 minus 13 plus 8 is minus 5 divided by 3 will be minus 1.66. Next range, 8 plus 2, 10 minus 7 is 3 divided by 3 will give me 1. Then minus 7 minus 4 minus 11 plus 2, that is minus 9 divided by 3 will give me 3. Oh, minus 3. Then 5 to 7, 2 plus 8, 10 minus 4, 6 divided by 3 gives me 2. Then minus 4 minus 6 minus 10 plus 8 minus 2 divided by 3 will give me minus 0.66. Then last range, 8 plus 7, 15 minus 6 will give me 9. Divided by 3 will give me 3, which is the maximum average out of all of these, and this will be the answer which we have to work with. So this is what you have to do in the question, right? Now let's discuss an approach to it or a solution. Okay. So think about it. When I'm calculating the average for all of them, is it really necessary for me to look at the average of all of them, or is the sum itself enough to solve the question? See, the case is that we are working with all of these subarrays, calculating their sums and dividing all of their sums by k itself. For any subarray, we are dividing the sum by k. So that is fixed, right? So the variant which we have in the question or the calculation is the sum itself. So we can say that the question is about maximum sum of subarray instead of maximum average. All we have to do is print the maximum average. Okay, so the question is more dependent on maximum sum instead of maximum average. Now see, an approach to this question would be, excuse me. Now the approach which we are discussing is the one with the minimum time and the minimum space possible. Okay, so see, first what we'll do, we'll calculate the sum for the first range. Over here we get the sum minus 11. Let's keep a variable maximum which will first have the value which we calculated for the first range, which is minus 11 itself. Then I move to the next range. Over here, if you notice, from the previous range we have minus 5 and 5 and minus 6 common. All we did would be adding 8 and removing minus 10 from this, right? I'll repeat what I said. We have we have 5 as well as minus 6 common from the previous calculation. We added 8 to the previous sum, subtracted minus 10 from the previous sum. So here we had minus 11. I add 8 to it, subtract minus 10 from it. I'll get 7. Minus 11 plus 8 is minus 3. Minus 3 plus 10 is 7. We have to get the sum for the range 1 to 3 as 7, which is correct now. Right? So now sum is also updated. Also, we are aware that maximum here will hold the maximum value when we will compare this maximum and the sum which I just calculated. So here it will become 7. Now, moving on to the next range. We have current sum as 7, right? We'll just take this to the next place. Okay, now over here we have minus 6 and 8 common. 5 has to be removed, minus 7 has to be added. We'll add minus 7, subtract 5, gives me 0 minus 5, that is minus 5. Sum became minus 5, maximum will not be changed because we need the maximum value. This way we will keep on moving, and at a point we will reach over here, right? Over here. And the final sum which we will have for this range will be minus 2, right? Then I will move over here. So over here I will have 8 and 6 common, 8 and minus 6 common, add 7, remove minus 4, right? From the previous sum, I have 8 and minus 6 common, I'll add 7, I'll remove minus 4. So over here we'll have plus 7 and minus of minus 4. This will give me 7 plus 4, 11 minus 2, 9. This is the sum now. This will also become the maximum value, right? So now I have the maximum value and I will use this value to calculate the average. So let's code this part and then we will come back and we will do a dry run for this much code. Okay. So over here, also the next thing which I need to tell you is that the value of k which you'll get will never be greater than the value of n, that is the length of the array. It will always be less than the length of the array, so you don't have to worry about that case. So now, first thing I need is a sum. I'm using double because we are calculating average, right? So average can have decimal in it. So we are using double over here. Then I'll calculate the sum for the first range. So for int I is equal to 0, I is less than k, right? I'll just keep on explaining this. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So first we need to calculate this one. So 0 to less than k because k was 3. So over here sum will become plus equal to nums of I. This will give me a sum, okay, of the first range. Then we have a maximum value which we have initialized as the current sum. Now we need to move for the next positions. So where will we start from now? Although my next range has to be 1 to 3, but the value which I am going to add to the previous sum is going to be this, right? So over here I will become equal to 3. 3 was k. So we will start from k. Okay. Over here we will start from k, move till the size of our array, nums dot size. Okay. Now the first thing I need to do is add my current value, right? So sum plus equals nums of I. So to the previous sum, which was minus 11, or any sum which we got from this range, we will add this value. And I need to remove this value from there, right? So this will be the range now. I've added this value, I have to remove this value, right? So for that I'm going to use sum minus equals nums of I minus k. The reason we had I as 3, k as 3, it will give me 0. So this position will be subtracted. Then when I'll move to the next position, I will become 4 and k will be 3. I'll have to remove this value. So this will give me 1. So this value will be removed. So it will make traversal easier. So over here. Then now I need to find out the maximum for the value maximum, right? That is, I need to find out the maximum value out of the current sum and the current maximum, right? So this will be max of sum and current maximum. Okay. Now let's do a dry run with this much and we will then think of how to return the average. I'll just take this to my board. Okay. Now see, we have sum as 0. I calculated the sum from the first range, that is this much, and got minus 11. I got a variable maximum which I initialized as the current sum, which was minus 11. Then I'll start from this position. So I came at the third position, and right now the range which I'm checking is this range, right? That is 1 to 3. So I started from k, that is 3, to the sum, to the previous sum. I added nums of 3, that is 8. Subtracted nums of 3 minus 3. Nums of 3 minus 3 is nums of 0, that is minus 10. It will give me 7. So sum will be updated as 7. And using this function, maximum will also be updated as 7. So I'll just create a range as well as a sum. We'll just keep on storing them over here. Okay, so our range was 0. 1 second. Range was 0 to 2 and sum was minus 11. Range became 1 to 3. Sum came out to be 7. After that, we came to the next range, which was 2 to 4. So to the previous sum, now I has become 4. Right? I came over here. So to the previous sum, that is 7, I added this value, nums of 4, that is minus 7. Subtracted nums of I minus k, that is 4 minus 3. So nums of 1, which is 5, subtract 5, I'll get minus 5. So my range was 2 to 4. My sum came out to be minus 5. This way we will keep on moving, and right now we have sum as minus 5. Maximum is still 7. We will come over here. Our range will be 6 to 8. We calculated the sum for 6 to 8 as minus 2. It will obviously be minus 2. We know how to calculate it by now. So sum has now become minus 2. And we will move to the next position. Right. So this will move. 1 second. We have this will move over here. Okay. So now I is pointing here. So I has now become 9. And we are working with I equals 9. So to the sum, current sum, that is minus 2, I will add nums of I, that is 7, and subtract nums of I minus k, that is nums of I minus k, which is 3, so 6. Sixth position holds minus 4. I'll subtract minus 4 from here. I'll get minus 2 plus 11, which is 9. So sum became 9, and using the max function, the maximum value which I'll get will be 9 as well. So here the range was 7 to 9. Sum came out to be 9. Right? So now we've calculated our maximum sum. We will have to give the average. So for the average, all I need to do is divide the maximum sum I got from by 3. That is the value which is held in k. Right? So we have to divide the maximum sum which we got by k, and we will get the maximum average. So what we did was, we had n of 0, n of 1 and n of 2. It gave me a sum. To this sum we added n of I. I was currently at this position, and we subtracted n of I minus k. Right? So this will hold true for all of them. Right? We see how it was working. So now all we need to do is we need to return our average, since we've already calculated the maximum sum. So over here we will return maximum divided by k. But this returns to me integer value. I have to give a double value, right? So what are we going to do? We're going to force the compiler to return us the double value. So over here I'll add double. Now let's try to run this. So we got the correct output. Now we'll submit this. And we have passed the test cases. So the question which we discussed today was maximum average subarray. I hope you understood the question as well as the solution. So we will see each other in the next video. Till then, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.